Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. It's the holiday season. That can mean only one person that I can think of. Okay, so we have a lot of people that are holiday, but I think of Tiffany Schultz, Better Business Bureau here, as we talk today about holiday returns and exchanges. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
You don't want to return anything to the show today, do you?
No, but I might have a return after Christmas.
I was going to say a few people will. And it's part of the deal, right?
It is. That's pretty much what December 26th is all about.
Oh, man, I just think of those long lines and everything else in between. But nevertheless, holiday returns and exchanges, a lot of things go into making an exchange. I think of in the past, I think of our interviews of thinking of the fine print, reading over stuff and just being ready. But let's just set the tone here that it's going to happen. People are going to return things, and it could be record numbers this year.
Consumers are expected to spend $902 per person this holiday season. It's up 3% from last year. So with all of those dollars spent, come returns that are going back to the store as well.
It's the holiday season. Okay, no. Along with the holiday shopping and whatnot, when you're thinking about anything that you have to return, stores legally do not have to give returns.
They don't, and there's some items that are out there that says final sale when you purchase them. If it's a clearance item or maybe they're clearing out some old inventory, you can't return that. So make sure you know when you purchase the item if there's a possibility that you're going to be bringing it back. What's the return policy and how long do you have to return it?
There could even be restocking fees.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because the store has to take back that item and put it back on the shelf.
Fine. What about the receipts? Like keeping the receipt?
The receipt is really important. If it's not the original receipt, make sure that you get a gift receipt to give the gift recipient if they choose to return it. A lot of stores are cracking down on fraud, and it's just a policy piece to have that receipt along with the driver's license to return the item if you wish to do that.
How about, we know a lot of people are switching to online shopping. There's no surprise there. In fact, I'm sure everybody has probably tried it at this point. If not, yikes. But that return could look different than if you bought it in the store.
It very well could. When you buy it in the store, you can take it back to the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you buy it online, did you pay for shipping? Was shipping free? Who pays for the shipping when you return it? Can you take it to a return center for no charge to send it back? Or if you send it back on your own, are you responsible for the shipping? Lots of different dynamics going on there with online returns. So when you buy, make sure you've done your homework ahead of time to know what you're going to go through in order to return it.
Yeah, I would seriously check that one out because that one gets really fishy. I just had to return something via online, and I was like, oh, didn't know that Okay. How about the details on warranties? When you go out, they ask you at the checkout or even online, oh, it's $2 for this warranty. Warranties. This could be like its own segment, I suppose.
That warranty could be a great deal, but how does the warranty process? Do you have to send it back to the manufacturer? Does it only cover the parts for the warranty, or does it cover the service too? Or can you take that back to the store to get warranted? How important and how that warranty works is extremely important.
You're right about, I didn't even think about that sometimes you have to like send it in afterwards and get that whole processing thing. So do some homework on that one. That would be a big one for sure. And then bring it. Bring it. I'm used to saying bring it. Bring ID. Why would you want to bring ID for making a return?
Like I had mentioned, the retailers are cracking down on fraud. And they require an ID, and they track how many returns you've made in a month, 6 months, an entire year. If you're over your limit on the number of returns, possibly without a receipt, that's going to play a part too. So they just want to make sure that you are the person that you say you are when you return that item.
Another good reason to check into the policies and understand what it looks like to do that return, number of returns. I've heard people who've made many returns to a specific store, and they're like, yeah, you can't return anything anymore. It's ridiculous.
And there are items that are out there, and we're kind of past that period of time, but it's a 90-day return policy. If you've purchased that item early in the shopping season, you're not planning on giving it to the person until Christmas, and then they decide a month later maybe they don't want it, you could be past that 90-day clause, and you may not be able to get any money back.
What about in-store credit?
You may get in-store credit, you may not. And that's why it's so important to do your homework.
It really is. And you shouldn't be afraid to return anything, but if you do your due diligence up front and kind of check into things, ask questions, whatever, it should really be okay. I mean, I think of all the things that have happened, I've even had some things past the dates and called up the place and be like, hey, look, I know it's past the thing, can you work with me? Some places are willing to work with you too. So, I would call and ask too and talk to that customer service person and see what they can do.
And if it's a common item they stock and you're just swapping it out for size, you might have more leeway to go past that return date than if you bought something that was seasonal related.
Yeah. No, I think that's all good information. If people want to learn more about returning stuff safely or just kind of wrapping their head around it, how can they learn more?
bbb.org.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks for not returning me back to anybody. Though Nick probably would like me to be returned to somewhere. But we appreciate your time as always, and have a good holiday season.
Thanks for having me.